This podcast is a member of WGPRN, WildGamesProductions.com.
Hi, this is DM Glenn, and I'm here with DM Vince.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, and we're talking about a new show that's coming out pretty soon called THACO's Hammer, all about 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons.
That's right. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition finally has its own podcast coming soon.
Yes, in about a couple of weeks or so. And I'm gonna be hosting it, and I will probably have a rotating co-host. But before we get to that, let's talk about what the show's about.
Yeah.
Of course, it's, all 2nd edition all the time, of course.
Woo.
But we kind of want to do something with it, like start with the core material, if you know what I mean. DMG, Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, all that kind of stuff. And yes, the Monsters Compendium, of course. And then we're going to have some sections in there, branch out into the support material like the splat books and the kits and the player's options, things like that for people who like to use that. But by concentrating on things like just having a good time with the game, making it as simple or as complex as you want, and just trying to get the most out of 2nd edition.
Right.
Now, I am Glenn. I'm GM Glenn, of course. I've been on Saber Die podcast, and I've had I've been in gaming since about the mid-'80s. And I started with 1st edition, and I spent about half my gaming time in 2nd edition. So I kind of know it pretty good, and I'm a big proponent of THACO. I'm sure that makes Vince happy. But so I do kind of know what I'm talking about if you don't think about it very hard. And Vince will be with me on occasion.
Yeah.
My illustrious producer.
Yeah, I'll be taking the executive producer role for this project, as I've asked Glenn to do this show and get the 2nd edition heard out there, because a lot of people actually really, really like it. And in case you're listening to this and going, who the heck is this guy? You probably have heard me on my other podcast, Save or Die podcast, the classic Dungeons & Dragons podcast, or the Roll for Initiative podcast, which is the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 1E podcast. But I felt it was time to get 2nd edition out there, and I found the person that is in love with the system as much as we are in love with the other editions. So
who?
Glenn.
That's me.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
okay.
you, Glenn. You'll be sitting in doing this podcast, having a rotating staff. So that means if you're interested, maybe you can come on too.
That's right. And don't let it fool you. Vince is the 2nd edition curmudgeon.
Oh, curmudgeon! Wow.
Yes. We will probably have a little counterpoint going on for a while, but that's great. I mean, that fosters discussion. But if you want a guest host, what can they do, Vince?
They could either walk to Glenn's house, or they could email Glenn or the podcast, Glenn and Friends Show.
Wait a minute. No. The podcast is called THACO's Hammer, and the email address is thacoshammer@gmail.com.
No Glenn and Friends?
No.
Oh.
Afraid not. No. I don't want to get sued by Barney or somebody like that.
Yeah, so like I was saying, you might hear me once in a while just to help Glenn out until he gets his feet wet. And
we'll be bringing him back every once in a while if he has some kind of real grudge against something he wants to talk about in 2nd edition.
Yes, and Glenn will be here hosting away. You'll still hear Glenn on Save or Die podcast, too, as he's in love with Basic Edition as well.
That's right, and 1st edition, although I just listened to that one. I mean, I love them all, but I really like 1st and 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, basic 1st and 2nd.
Not a problem. I mean, I like taking the executive producer role now. I could just sit back and tell you what to do.
And rake in the money. Yeah.
What money? If there was money involved in this, I'd be doing... Wait, I do too much.
Wait a minute. I'm not getting paid? Oh,
no,
okay.
You're not getting... You're getting paid in... what do we decide? Electrum.
Well, yeah, Nick and R, if I get paid in Electrum, I should too.
Well, Glenn, just to be special, we're going to pay you in steel from Dragonlance.
All right. Can you make it iron? I need more iron in my diet.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, anyway, look for THACO's hammer coming very, very soon.
Yeah, so we'll have a website up very shortly. Until then, you could check us out at wildgamesproductions.com as a temporary website.
That's right. Say goodbye, Vince.
Goodbye, Vince.
Goodbye, Glenn. I'll see you guys around.